How do children think differently from adults? It's not just about having less knowledge. According to Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget, children actually think in fundamentally different ways, and their minds develop through distinct stages. Piaget's theory of cognitive development is one of the most influential in psychology. It helps explain how we learn, reason, and understand the world from infancy through adolescence. Let's break it down. Piaget believed that children are like little scientists. They actively explore their environments, test ideas, and build knowledge through experience. He proposed 4 stages of cognitive development. Each stage represents a new way of thinking, and children must pass through them in order. Stage 1. Sensorimotor stage, birth to approximately 2 years. In this stage, infants learn about the world through their senses and actions. They touch, grab, shake, and put things in their mouths. One key milestone here is object permanence, the understanding that objects continue to exist even when out of sight. For example, if you hide a toy under a blanket, a very young baby might act like it's gone. But by about 8 months, they'll start looking for it. That shows they're developing memory and mental representation. Stage 2. Preoperational stage, 2 to 7 years. Here, children begin using symbols, like words and images, to represent objects. Language development takes off, and imagination flourishes. But their thinking is still egocentric. They struggle to see things from other people's perspectives. For example, if you ask a 4-year-old what someone else can see from across the table, they might describe only their own view. Another trait is centration, focusing on one aspect of a situation while ignoring others. A famous experiment called the conservation task shows this. If you pour the same amount of water into a tall glass and a short one, a child in this stage might think the taller glass has more, simply because it looks bigger. Stage 3. Concrete operational stage, 7 to approximately 11 years. At this point, children begin to think more logically and understand concepts like conservation, cause and effect, and reversibility, the idea that actions can be undone. But their thinking is still tied to concrete, tangible things. They're not yet comfortable with abstract ideas like hypothetical scenarios or algebra. Stage 4. Formal operational stage, 12 and up. This is when abstract thinking develops. Teens can now reason about hypothetical situations, imagine different outcomes, and think about justice, politics, or moral dilemmas. They can also engage in metacognition, thinking about their own thinking. This stage represents the full maturity of cognitive development in Piaget's model. Piaget's work was groundbreaking because he showed that children aren't just mini-adults. They go through qualitative changes in how they think. His ideas sparked a wave of research and transformed how we approach education, parenting, and developmental psychology. However, modern researchers have found that children may develop certain skills earlier than Piaget claimed, especially with guidance or cultural influences. Cognitive development is now seen as more flexible and influenced by social interactions. This leads us to another key figure in developmental psychology, Lev Vygotsky, who emphasized the role of culture, language, and social support in learning. We'll explore his ideas in the next video.